Well, hi there, everyone. Good Tuesday morning to you all. Thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. If you were concerned about Nicole, she's okay.
She's all right.
She's doing good. She didn't fall yet. I have been on the ice skating assignment before, and I have definitely fallen on my butt on live TV.
It's a good time.
There's video evidence of this. All right, meteorologist Thomas Patrick joining us. Thomas, if you are going to go ice skating, it's not too bad outside. It actually feels okay.
Yeah, and especially if you're doing quite a few laps, you might even work up a sweat. It is a nice way to burn off some energy. By the way, I'm more of an ice skater than a skier myself, but I think most everybody else is probably the opposite. They're better skiers because it's just a little easier to do the pizza. For me, it's the T. You just kind of drag your back foot, and that's how you slow down when you're on the ice. For our weather conditions this morning, we are above the freezing mark right now. We're at 35 degrees. That's about 10 degrees above normal low temperatures. By the way, our average high for this time of year is 34, so we're above that mark as well. There is a bit of patchy fog like yesterday, but this time it's between Pullman and Lewiston and a little bit over Lookout Pass as opposed to Spokane County. So not our normal trouble spots this time around. But yeah, our temperatures are at or above the freezing mark just about everywhere across the inland Northwest this morning.
Covering North Idaho this morning, Coeur d'Alene will have a brand new middle school built in the near future. The decision was made at last night's school board meeting. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones live in Coeur d'Alene for us right now. So Brandon, this really is another sign of the rapid growth in North Idaho. Tell us more about the land the district is buying. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. I mean, you touched on it. We see it every single day, that growth that is taking place over here in Coeur d'Alene and the entire inland Northwest. But yesterday night, the Coeur d'Alene School District, they agreed to a purchase of 20 acres to build a brand new middle school over here. And if you can remember, this all stems back to that core tear development that was approved by the Coeur d'Alene City Council back in March. So that growth is just happening at a high rate. And with that project, there's plans to build 2,800 new housing units, commercial shops, and 2 new schools. With those schools comes in the CDA School District. The 20 acres they approved for purchase is on the north end of the development and will cost just over $4.3 million. So with the purchase agreement in place, it requires core tear developers to complete the necessary infrastructure like the roads, sewer, and water connections. There's no exact timeline on when this will all come to fruition, but we've also learned that the developers have also agreed to dedicate another 10 acres to the school district for a second school on the south end of the development. We're not sure what type of school, whether it's another middle school or if it's an elementary school, but again, this is all because of the core tear development off of Hutter Road. So for now, reporting live in Coeur d'Alene, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
It is 6:04 right now. Let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. The trial of the former police officer Richard Aguirre is expected to continue for the next 3 days. Police accuse him of killing Ruby Doss in 1986. This is the second time Aguirre has been in a Spokane County courtroom accused of murder. The first time was in 2021, but that ended in a mistrial. The Eastern District of Washington has filed a complaint against All Star Property Management. They're accusing the local company of falsely claiming hundreds of thousands of dollars in rental assistance during the COVID-19 pandemic. The U.S. Attorney's Office also says the owner and property manager inflated the prices of rent. Well, WSU guard Miles Rice was named the Pac-12 Freshman of the Week for the second week in a row. Rice scored 22 points, 11 assists, and got 9 steals in just 2 games. The Cougs will now take on Santa Clara Saturday morning in Phoenix. And Idaho's very own first In-N-Out opens today. It's located in Meridian. The California-based burger chain will have its full menu available, and the restaurant says the new location created roughly 80 new jobs with a starting wage of $17.50 per hour. That's more than double the Idaho minimum wage. And that's a look at your morning rush.
Happening today, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky will speak in front of Congress. His visit comes as the House moves towards a deadline to pass an aid package to help Ukraine and Israel.
CBS correspondent Naomi Ruckham has more from New York.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warns his country is just a stepping stone for Russia as he makes his plea for more aid at the White House and on Capitol Hill today.
You can count on Ukraine and we hope just as much to be able to count on you.
In addition to his White House visit, Zelensky is meeting with U.S. senators from both parties, nearly a week after a multi-billion-dollar aid package that included funding for Ukraine, Israel, and border security failed to overcome a procedural vote. Zelensky is also set to meet with new Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson, who says a national security bill should focus first on U.S. security.
The battle is for the border. We do that first as a top priority.
Senate Democrats say talks continue toward a deal on a national security package.
We should stay here until we get it done.
Though their Republican counterparts remain bitterly divided.
We need to continue supporting Ukraine. I won't vote to give them another penny.
Senate Republicans who do support aid for Ukraine say they don't think Zelensky's visit today will change minds. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Well, taking a live look at the White House right now, today House Republicans will consider a resolution to formalize their impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. They could vote on it this week before lawmakers leave for the holidays. The vote will give the GOP added powers in its ongoing investigation into Biden and his family.
Well, something you may have seen on social media this morning, Google is out with its annual Year in Search, where it compiles all the things people have been Googling in 2023. So the #1 most Googled person in the world in 2023, well, it was Bills safety Damar Hamlin, who suffered a cardiac arrest back in January during a nationally televised game. The next most Googled person is actor Jeremy Renner, who also had a near-death experience with a snowplow at the start of the year. Remember that? And then Matthew Perry was the #1 Google search for people who passed away this year. His death in October sent shockwaves throughout Hollywood and prompted Friends fans everywhere to re-watch their favorite episodes. Well, rounding out the top 10 are Kylian Mbappe, Travis Kelce, Jenna Ortega, Lil Tay, Danny Masterson, David Beckham, and Pedro Pascal.
Are you surprised Taylor Swift didn't make that list?
Actually, a little bit.
Because I'm kind of surprised, but I guess you could probably lump that in with Travis Kelce. If you know, you know. Weather conditions likely just going to be cloudy with some patchy fog for this morning. Nothing too different than what we saw yesterday. It'll just depend on how thin the cloud cover can get during the afternoon. I think the sun was trying to peek through yesterday, but struggling, and it'll probably be the same case for today. That's really what we're seeing right now as well. Radar returns a little bit of activity near Pendleton, Oregon, but might be ground clutter more than anything else. But largely speaking, this is a decently mild December pattern we're currently in, especially with our low temperatures being above freezing. Next week could be even warmer as we head closer towards Christmas. So we'll show you if we get any storm systems that might shake up this forecast in the long term. We have those details in just a few moments.